Now from WSAV, this is News 3 on your side at 11.
Good evening, I'm Russ Riesinger.
And I'm Tina Tice-Shaw. Thank you for joining us. Tonight's big story, a rough landing along the runway at the Savannah Hilton Head International Airport.
It involved a Delta jetliner flying in from Atlanta. News 3's Meredith Lay is in Pooler at the airport and joins us now live.
And Meredith, we can imagine that this created quite a scare for the passengers.
Russ and Tina, that's exactly right. But the important thing here is that everyone was safe. Now take a look at this. This happened right around 6:49 this evening, but it's still a very active scene. Delta officials released a statement tonight in regards to Flight 2307. A spokesperson says the nose of the plane made contact with the grass just as the aircraft turned onto the taxiway. While the landing was unpleasant, Delta says all 125 passengers and crew members safely evacuated the plane and were bused over to the airport terminal. Now, video of the passengers inside. Take a look at this. This was sent to us by Matt Coleman in the background. You can hear people talking amongst themselves and the pilot on the intercom system explaining the evacuation process. Now, many of these passengers are coming in from overseas, so they've been traveling anywhere from 12 to 24 hours, and then they were stuck on the plane while investigators assessed the situation and tried to sort out what happened. Now, we spoke to some of them tonight, and they shared with us this ordeal.
The pilot came in high and fast. It was pretty obvious when we touched down that we were in there were some serious issues with the landing, and then he tried to stop quickly and avoid running off the runway, and he tried to turn abruptly to the left to keep the plane on the runway, and he couldn't control the plane and went into the grass.
I mean, it just threw you into the seat in front of you.
What was going through your mind?
I was like, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, I'm in a field. You know, I'm in a field. I'm not supposed to be in a field.
As we landed, it started getting real bumpy, and next thing you know, we jerked forward real hard, and we were in the grass. We all flung forward. The seatbelt kind of cut into my stomach. It's a little painful. I talked to my husband. He said he'd get me a bus ticket if I need one. I'm pretty scared to fly back home.
Now here's a live look at the plane. As you can see, investigators are still on scene and are expected to be here for a few more hours. Now we've been working with representatives from the airport, and they tell us that this plane should be expected to be towed out of here within the next couple hours once this investigation is complete. Now we did receive a statement. Thankfully everybody is okay. No one was injured in all of this, but we will continue to stay here and bring you the very latest as it becomes available. In Pooler, Meredith Lay, WSAV News 3.
Thank you, Meredith. Well, when News 3 first broke this situation tonight, the full resources of WSAV.com were on your side, bringing you instant team coverage from the scene. WSAV.com's Will Nunley is sharing more of what's available for you to see. Will?
And Tina, with incidents like this one, you want accurate information quickly, and that's what we're delivering for you right now online. Take a look at this special coverage section we have for you now at the top of the site. The most comprehensive collection of exclusive videos, pictures, and eyewitness accounts, plus long-form interviews you won't see on the air. We will make sure to leave this special section up for you overnight if you're just learning about this situation. You will know the new details as soon as we do. Add us on Facebook and Twitter for breaking updates on social media anytime. In the newsroom, Will Nunley, WSAV.com.
And of course, you can count on WSAV to bring you the very latest tomorrow morning on Coastal Sunrise beginning at 5 a.m.
A new development tonight, a last-minute stay of execution for a Georgia inmate who had been scheduled to die by lethal injection tonight. Warren Lee Hill's lawyers claim that he's mentally disabled and should not be executed. In 1990, Hill was already serving a life sentence for shooting to death his girlfriend when he beat to death his cellmate in prison. He was given the death penalty for that crime. Well, tonight, a federal appeals court has halted the execution, at least for the time being.
Well, it is a story of theft, murder, and plans to try to overthrow the government. Up to 11 people were arrested. Now 5 have pled guilty. It began in December of 2011 when the bodies of 17-year-old Tiffany York and 19-year-old Michael Rourke were discovered in Long County. The report of a motive of crime to cover up a militia. Well, WSAV's Joanne Merrigan was in court today, and there was mention of another death. She has the very latest in a follow-up report.
In
you understand my statements and questions? Yes, sir.
Randall Dearman is only 22 and pled to a series of auto break-ins on Fort Stewart.
This defendant got pulled in and then associated with and engaged in criminal activity on behalf of the group at the behest, basically, of his older brother.
Even prosecutors said the young Dearman didn't seem to understand what he was getting himself into. His older brother, Adam Dearman, who was a military policeman, was a member of the group Fear and now under indictment.
American soldiers with the purpose of overthrowing our government that they were sworn to defend.
Adam Dearman wasn't in Long County when Tiffany York and Mike O'Rourke were killed, but reportedly got a phone call later.
He was actually contacted by some of the murder defendants to return the night of the murders and before the bodies were found in Long County to help dispose of Mike O'Rourke's vehicle.
But Adam Dearman was arrested in North Georgia before he could return, and the younger Randall got caught up trying to help his brother. But Randall Dearman is a free man tonight on probation and promising to testify.
This defendant provided additional information of great use to the state in the double murder cases.
3 active duty soldiers are facing the death penalty in connection with the murders of Rourke and York. But another death was also brought up. Sergeant Deidre Agigi, who was the wife of militia ringleader Isaac Agigi, she died under mysterious circumstances a few months before the double murders.
Because this defendant did disclose that he likewise has and is willing and able to testify concerning information pertaining to confessions and admissions by Isaac Agigi related to the murder of his wife.
Again, that was Joanne Merrigan reporting. Now, the prosecution contends life insurance money from Mrs. Agigi's death launched the militia group's plan to buy weapons and land in the state of Washington. A military spokesman says they are still investigating the death of Mrs. Agigi. Meanwhile, Randall Dearman was never implicated in the Long County murders and was released today for time served relating to the thefts.
Well, parts of our area got a little more rain today and now a little fog tonight. What's in store for your Wednesday? Storm Team 3 Chief Meteorologist Chris Allred joins us now with a look at the Fastcast. Chris?
All right, Russ. Well, today we had a weak storm system push through the coastal empire and low country, and even though it is gone tonight, it's left behind enough moisture that we do have fog in the area. There is a fog advisory for part of our viewing area, but a lot of us are seeing the dense fog at this time. Like Brunswick, visibility is down to 1/4 mile. Moving up the coast, Savannah also down to 1/4 mile, and then parts in the low country, 1/4 mile in Hardyville, but it's much better for Hilton Head and also Beaufort. Now, here's what we have coming up with the Fastcast. Tonight, the fog, it's going to improve. After midnight, much drier air will work in, and it will be a tad cooler than last night. 6 o'clock in the morning, inland areas are dropping to the lower to mid-30s. At the coast, you'll drop to the lower 40s. Now, throughout your day on Wednesday, a lot of sunshine, but still running on the cooler side. Highs will reach the upper 50s to the lower 60s. And here's what's coming up in the complete forecast in just a couple of minutes. For tomorrow, the sunshine returns. Well, on Thursday, it will stay dry and it will get even milder. But on Friday, that's when all the unsettled weather will begin, and it could continue for quite some time in the 7-day forecast. All the details coming up in a few minutes. Russ and Tina, back to you.
Well, turning now to a community report, at least $30,000 each. That's the price tag for all the new welcome signs that you'll eventually see when entering the city of Savannah. So why such a hefty cost? And more importantly, why did city leaders think it was necessary? News 3's Sheila Parker did a little investigating today. As far as the price tag is concerned, the signs are part of an ongoing project that's covered under the budget for the capital improvements funding that also encompasses the ongoing beautification of Savannah squares. The first of the 3 signs took root on 37th Street this week. The motive for the costly signs, city leaders say, is the growth of tourism and the need to keep Savannah competitive.
Because a world-class city deserves world-class signs. The fact is, people come here. There are about 17 different entryways into the city of Savannah. People come from all over the world, and they need to be able to see a very hearty welcome.
Say something you put in your front yard versus something that you put on a city right-of-way are going to be quite a bit different in price. In this case, we're working on a DOT right-of-way, and they have very strict standards and specifications for safety of the roadway.
So far, only 3 signs have been funded. City officials want to assess the response on the new signs to determine if any additional welcome signs will be placed along Savannah's remaining entry points.
Effingham County is also spending big money on a big project for their community. The Sheriff's Department officially broke ground on their new jail today. The $16.4 million project will be funded by SPLOST money, a penny sales tax that will raise $40 million over the next 6 years for various projects. The new facility will replace the current jail and house 332 inmates, which means Effingham County will have the space to stop farming out inmates to other counties.
We were spending around $216,000 annually housing inmates in other jails. You know, this is money that we can bring back into our community and maintain in our jail.
When I found out how much this county was spending to outsource basically detainees to other counties, you can make payments on a new facility for what we're paying to send to outsource.
Well, that new jail will be built right next to the current facility, which was supposed to last 10 years and has now been in use for more than 25. The project should be finished in 2014.
In less than a minute, alarming numbers about the number of veterans being diagnosed with PTSD and a look at a local program that aims to help. First, though, tonight's winning lottery numbers.
It's been estimated that as many as 1 in 5 soldiers coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan could have post-traumatic stress disorder.
Well, tonight some important information about a PTSD and a free study going on right here if you or someone you care about is suffering from it. But first, meet a former soldier who courageously shared his personal story with me in a News 3 special report.
I couldn't stand nobody to even get close to me. Just like me and you sitting here now, no way. Just like we're in this room now, closed door, couldn't be in here. I'm looking for a way out.
The war is long over for Nathaniel Cochran, but after serving more than 20 years in the military, he would often find his mind still stuck in the past.
My mind was still back in Iraq. The main thing was the convoy driving at night. Didn't know was the enemy up in the wood line. You know, when I even hear a helicopter or airplane come across, couldn't stand no loud noise. At home, I get up in the middle of the night, hear noise, get up, go to the door, make sure the door is locked, make sure the alarm's set. Things that was not me.
Nathaniel was showing some of the symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder, reliving a traumatic or stressful event, avoiding situations that remind you of it, feeling numb or keyed up, easily agitated. Took him a long time to get the nerve to talk about it, but he finally opened up to a nurse during a visit to the VA clinic, a conversation he believes saved his life.
She walked in, she said, "How you doing, Mr. Cochran?" I said, "I feel like I'm a time bomb. I feel like I'm a dead, ready to explode."
The thing that sets PTSD apart is that these symptoms don't go away on their own. They last for, more than 6 months, a year. They keep persisting, and a lot of times they get worse.
Dr. Bethany Wanglin is a therapist and researcher who specializes in post-traumatic stress disorder.
With as many veterans coming back from the Iraq and Afghanistan conflicts, this is a kind of a public health crisis.
There is help available. Researchers have been trying to get the word out about a new study that they're signing up veterans for right now, funded by the DOD. Nathaniel is one of the participants, and he feels as if the medication he's now on, sertraline, has helped him turn his life around.
You won't see none of those bad things. I feel like I've been washed clean.
If you hadn't gotten that help and eventually opened up, what do you think would have happened to you?
Oh, God. if I wouldn't have got it, I know I would have did something that I would have been regret today.
Very powerful. Certainly glad to see that Nathaniel is doing a lot better now, and that medication seems to be working, Russ.
Yeah, he says it's actually worked wonders for him, completely changed his life around. He was really in a bad place, and who knows what might have happened had he not gotten some help. Well, according to statistics, Nathaniel's not alone. An alarming number of veterans are being diagnosed with PTSD. Up next, more on a program that is reaching out to them and their families.
And here's a live look now outside from Savannah Camps on River Street, and there you can see straight across the Westin on Hutchinson Island. Up next, Chris has your full forecast. You're watching WSAV News 3 on your side at 11.
Before the break, we introduced you to an Army veteran whose symptoms of PTSD were helped tremendously when he sought treatment and got on medication. Now, there are no doubt others like him still suffering. Researchers are hopeful that a new study that they're signing veterans up for right now will be able to help many of them, but they need to get the word out about it. Talking about post-traumatic stress disorder is something that Christy Oates spends a lot of time doing.
You know, it's really hard to go to the doctor for any kind of treatment, but especially for mental health, especially for PTSD, especially within the military environment.
We're going home! Oates says not only are alarming percentages of soldiers coming back with PTSD, but that suicide rates of soldiers and veterans have also gone up.
Early intervention, we're finding, is really key. If you wait too long, those coping mechanisms get set into place and they're harder to change.
One way they're trying to reach veterans is through a new PTSD program called Progress that offers free evaluations, interventions, and information. Veteran Barry Finch has been trying to spread the word about the program. It comes too late for a friend of his, though.
He committed suicide. He had spent 4 years there helping, defend his friends and being close to death. And within a year of his transition here, I guess, back into society, he shot himself in the head.
A research study funded by the Department of Defense is currently underway at the VA clinic in Savannah that could bring some relief to those who battle PTSD. Some of those who sign up for the study will be given sertraline, a drug that is proven to be effective treating PTSD. Some will receive a type of talk therapy called prolonged exposure therapy, where veterans confront the trauma memory itself with the help of a counselor. And others will be given a combination of both therapies.
So our research is about seeing how well these two treatments may work together, and if combining the medication and the therapy is any more effective than either one of the treatments on their own.
There's no wait to get into the program, and it is free. The first step, although it can be a difficult one, is just to talk about it.
PTSD is not a life sentence. That with treatment it can be overcome, and you can feel good again.
Well, they're really trying to get the word to veterans who may be struggling with PTSD and to their family or friends. If you're interested in learning more about it or the Progress program, visit the links we mentioned section of WSAV.com. You can give Christy Oates a call as well at 912-920-0214, extension 2229, or email christy.oates@va.gov. You can also search Savannah PTSD on Facebook for more information.
Now, Storm Team 3 weather, powered by Hargrey Live Titan Radar.
Well, today it was a weak storm system that brought us only a little bit of rain and a lot of cloud cover, but tonight it's already on the way out. And with your weather headlines, we have 2 days where it will be dry and temperatures will try to warm back up. Before Friday, unsettled weather returns and we could see numerous chances of showers and possibly a few thunderstorms. Now with your fastcast from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m., it's a cool start tomorrow morning. We'll start off with clear skies, temperatures dropping all the way down to the lower to mid 30s and the lower 40s at the coast. For the rest of the day, we will have a lot of sunshine with clouds beginning to increase later in the afternoon, and highs are going to top out in the upper 50s to the lower 60s. Well, on our live Hargrey Titan radar, today's storm system only brought a little bit of rain. Many of us only got maybe 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch if we're lucky. And tonight those rain showers have pushed offshore. All that remains is a little bit of cloud cover and for some of us quite a bit of fog. Now a fog advisory is in effect until 1 o'clock in the morning for the areas that are highlighted in gray, but we have had reports of dense fog for other areas of the coastal empire and low country. So here's what you need to do. For the next couple of hours, it could remain dense at times, so just if you're driving, just slow down, use your headlights, and give yourself plenty of distance ahead of you. After midnight, though, much drier air will work in and the fog won't be such a story. Now with your Futurecast hour by hour, the cloud cover is pushing offshore out into the Atlantic. Skies will be clear for the rest of the night. That means tomorrow we will start our day with a lot of sunshine. It's not until later in the afternoon that more clouds begin to work back in from the west. So later on, our skies will again become partly cloudy, but we are not expecting any rain from this cloud cover tomorrow night. So here's the forecast. Tomorrow, mostly sunny skies. Highs will reach the mid-50s at the coast. Farther inland, highs will top out in the upper 50s to lower 60s. That is running a little on the cool side. Average high is around 65 this time of year. And for the marine forecast, visibility is fine, all the way at 10 miles. We have winds tomorrow out of the northwest, which will shift to the west at about 10 to 20 knots, and look for waves at around 2 to 3 feet. So you get 2 days of dry weather. On Thursday, it does get milder. On Friday, though, storm system moves in, pretty good chance of rain. And this chance of rain will continue over the weekend and even into next week. And chances there, 30 to 60% at this time. And that means we have a pretty good chance to pick up some measurable rain. Weather models, significant rainfall possible in the next few days.
And although we picked up some ground in the last couple of weeks, we're still way behind year to year, so I guess that's pretty important.
We have some catching up to do still.
All right, thanks, Chris.
All right, we want to catch up on sports now. Exciting night, the state playoffs.
Yeah, state playoffs finally underway. High school basketball, we'll check out the Beach Lady Bulldogs plus the South Effingham Mustangs trailed at halftime. Would they have enough horsepower to come from behind and advance beyond the first round? All the hoop scoop straight ahead in sports. You're watching WSAV News 3 on your side at 11. Beach High School's Ronald Booker continues to churn out winners. The ladies are once again one of our area's top teams heading into the state tournament. This season, they won all their region games, including the region title. In fact, they haven't lost a game this calendar year. Out to AE Beach High School to take on Central out of Carrollton. How about Erica Hicks for Coach Booker, giving it to Irie Span, an easy lay-in, and Beach was off and running. Then a little great defense right in front of us. Island Span with the steal. She scored 12 points from right in front of us. Central, though, with a good inside game early. Sheree Bonner, in fact, they had the lead in the first half over Beach, and then the super fans helped things out. How about Jacqueline Anderson over to Irie Span. Span for three, and this one got the crowd going in the second quarter. That's when Beach took over this game. Yes, Beach goes on to win. They will play again in the second round, 5:30 p.m. on Friday. It is the boys and the girls' turn at Savannah High School tomorrow, both securing home games. The girls will start at 6, followed by head coach Tim Jordan's crew at 7:30. They clinched their region title Friday night by defeating Johnson for the second time this season. Of course, we'll have all those highlights tomorrow night at 11. South Effingham Lady Mustangs home to Veterans High School to open the Class 4A playoffs. Lady Mustangs were trailing by 5 at halftime, and then it was Tiana Germain time. There's a bucket. Then it's Amy Jamison out to Takia Marshall. She hits the three. More from Tiana Germain. She owned the third quarter, folks, inside the lane. They went on a 19-4 run in the third quarter alone. When you give her this look, forget it. She buries you. 24 points for Tiana Germain, and then the no-look pass over to Shea Leverett. Leverett with 10 points, 8 rebounds. Lady Mustangs pull away in the fourth and win at 55-40. And in Class 5A, Bradwell Lady Tigers on the road in Augusta to take on Evans. Here comes Evans. Alicia McFarland all the way for the easy two. They had to lead by 7 points late, but the Lady Tigers not yet out of it. Jacaria Fleming off the steal. She goes all the way and slips it in for the layup. And then some more pressure by the Bradwell Lady Tigers. Shakoya Crockett, a wild two plus the foul, but they just couldn't break through. Evans makes its free throws. They get the win 62-57. A few other teams of local interest. Ware County moves on with a win. Vidalia and Glen Academy's seasons end on the girls' side. And in AA, Jeff Davis and Toombs County are eliminated. Of course, all the scores on our Facebook and our Twitter pages. That's the WSAV Friday Night Blitz. While the Bullock Academy basketball teams weren't allowed to cut down their nets after the Region 4 AAA titles, well, they did it today, as is tradition in Gatortown. Ceremony held this evening along with a pep rally and a send-off for the region champs. Next up for both the girls and the boys, state tournament time at John Millage Academy, and that is Friday evening. Good luck to them. We'll be right back on News 3 at 11.
Recapping our top story now, an investigation underway after a Delta plane skidded off the runway and into the grass while landing at the Savannah Hilton Head International Airport tonight.
Well, Delta officials say all 125 passengers and crew members walked away injury-free. Meanwhile, the airport says the incident did not affect other incoming or outgoing flights, and we'll have more on Coastal Sunrise starting at 5 a.m. in the morning. But that's our time for now. Have a good night, everyone.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Watch yourself, Savannah.